It's not that. It's just like the projection from many to many to me seems really hard. Fantastic.
Thanks. Yeah, it's a great question. I mean, we really focus on making sure we have an offering for developers really of all skill levels. And so there are a couple things that we focus on. One is our suite of cognitive services, where these are sophisticated AI models that Microsoft has built. So if you want to add, say, speech to text directly to your application, you can do it calling a web service. And so really simple to get started on that. And then sort of at the other end, we go all the way to Azure Machine Learning, which lets you build your own custom models and call them directly from your applications. And we focus there on making sure it works for all skill levels, whether you're a novice who's working with automated machine learning, or someone who's experienced using the designer, or even a notebook. You can get started from there. Yeah, we really try and make sure that, wherever you are in your AI journey, that we've got something that will work for you. Always. We're constantly innovating and developing new things. There are a couple of exciting things that I'd love to talk to you more about, three in particular. First is Metrics Advisor. Metrics Advisor really brings real-time monitoring, based on AI to all of your data streams. And so from that monitoring, we'll show you the anomalous points, and you can get alerting and root cause analysis in real time. But more than talk about these things, this is why Seth is here. Seth, maybe you could help us out and show us a demo of that and see it in action.
That is correct. I am here as the demo monkey, and I'm excited to do that. So let me go over and start to share my screen here. I think this is the right one. You never know which screen you're going to share. It's always so. I think it's this one. Yes. I think. All right, Eric, how much time do you want me to do this in?
I don't know. I think we're probably behind, so you'll have to do the medium fast version.
Fantastic. So basically, Metrics Advisor, what it does is it takes time series data, such as the one you see here. This is time series data based on multiple dimensions with multiple metrics, basically tickets that come out of California, Washington, New York. We have hours, views, answers, and comments. And basically, Metrics Advisor will take this stream of data and it will create for you something that looks like this. It will show you all of the actual data as it goes, not only by sum, but also by all of the dimensions. So for example, these are all of, let me scroll down here. These are all the tickets that are of type high, right? And it's all the locations. And so notice there's a ton of anomalies, and all we had to do is literally just map the data. So let me go into one particular data point. So let me go into this one here, and you're going to see that you can go to something called an incident hub that will describe the entire thing basically without you having to do anything. So here you see I found an issue at this time and day, and what it's telling me is that there was an anomaly with the data across the dimensions of high value tickets that were of type Unix that happened in New York, and you can actually go in here and diagnose and see what type of contribution it has to the anomaly. So for example, in this case, when you see this delta ratio says that it's 63.84% above the expected value for this particular time series data. And there's a ton of cool things that you can do with this. For example, you can drill into the metrics to see how each of them contribute. For example, for TAI, you can see that here. You can see where the anomaly was. And then to finish up, the coolest thing about this is that you can also do something called a hook, so that anytime there is an incident, for example, an anomaly in this case, it can alert you, send a query to an API, send you an email, etc. It's pretty amazing. Basically, you start with data, you hook it up and to Metrics Advisor, and then you have immediate insight and alerting available to you. Hopefully that was short enough.
63.84%. That was very precise. I thought that was an excellent description of it. Yeah, Metrics Advisor is great. It's built on technology that we really developed internally at Microsoft to monitor a lot of our own internal systems and a lot of the real-time monitoring for that. And so just making that available, and packaging up in Metrics Advisor. So really excited to see that. The next thing I'd like to talk about, though, is, given it's currently the COVID-19 era and everyone is, wanting to make sure that they know where they are in space and how they relate to other people, another capability we announced at Ignite is spatial analysis. And so this is a computer vision model that really looks at the number of people in a particular room, the distance between them, whether they're going into particular spaces, the dwell time that they're spending. And it's really helped in a number of places with reopening and places that want to make sure they're managing social distancing or mask wearing and things like that. So really another exciting service that's really relevant based on the types of applications people need to develop now. But yeah, we can go back to the self-described demo monkey. South, maybe you can walk us through a little bit more on what spatial analysis has to offer.
Absolutely. In this case, instead of showing you like the underlying part of it, I wanted to show you what it actually does visually. So there's three things that he mentioned. The first one is person counting. Imagine you're in a situation where you have to limit the amount of people in a particular room. This part of the service, spatial analysis, will tell you not only where the people are, but notice that you can see the lines that it kind of tracks where they're going. That's the first one. So just how many people are in a room is awesome, but what if we want to know how far away they are from each other? That's the second thing. It will tell you how far away from them. And you can also set alerts to tell you when certain criteria are met. So that's the second one. So the first one is how many people are there. The second one is how far away they are. And then another one, which is even more interesting, is this notion of when people are in or outside of a polygon that you define, which is even more specific. So imagine being able to use these three in combination. We have customers, for example, in New York, RXR, which is a very large company that manages buildings. They now have this running on premises because obviously you don't want this information going out, but they can run in a container spatial analysis, and they know who's coming. They know when people are coming in, how many people are in there, if they're following social distancing practices, etc. It's a pretty amazing service. So again, person counting, how far away they are, and whether they are in or out of a particular polygon. Imagine what you can do with all three together.
Yeah, it's really great, and we've worked with a number of customers in a number of different, fields as well, even in manufacturing, where they want to make sure people are staying out of particular areas, or do they have hard hats on, or the like. And so, lots of applications where being able to sort of get good analytics. In retail, I want to know how long are people spending in line, and do I need more, checkout people or the like, just from the cameras that are already installed in many stores. So lots of interesting things that can be done using spatial analysis. The next thing the third thing that I want to talk about is the Azure Machine Learning, the Designer. So this is a capability that makes it really easy for people to develop sophisticated AI models. And this is a capability that we just recently GA'd at Ignite. And again, more than me talking about it, I think Designer is something that is best seen. And so, Seth, why don't you take it away again?
Absolutely. So for those that don't know, Azure Machine Learning Service is a comprehensive suite, or Studio is a comprehensive suite of amazing things that you can do in the enterprise with machine learning. One of the cool things is this thing called the Designer. And what's cool about it is you can actually draw out any particular complex scenario with machine learning. For example, like selecting columns in a data set, clean missing data, so the data portion. And you can also train your models and score them. From here, you can also publish your models, which is really cool. And you have a ton of data sets that you can use to start your training with to figure it out. And then you have a number of amazing tools, like, for example, feature selection, statistical functions to summarize data, and then the thing that people are most interested in, the machine learning algorithms that you can use to train these things. So if you're just getting started with machine learning, but you want to do something a little bit more advanced than calling cognitive services because you have a specialized thing that you want to do, the designer is a great way to get started so you can graphically see what you're doing, how you're doing it, and you can also publish it and create pipelines for inferencing and training.
Yeah, I find this super useful, and that notion of pipelines too. I mean, that's what the machine learning workflow really is. That it's a workflow, a series of steps that the more you automate and the more you can sort of turn them into a pipeline, they become repeatable, which helps you with ML ops, and that way I can sort of do the same thing over and over. They become scriptable, automatable, and then you can sort of batch them and do multiple models at the same time. There's a lot of capabilities that can really be lit up just by this simple expression of, hey, here's how my data flows and how I go and create my model. So a lot of really great things. So thanks, Seth, for sharing that with us. Safe to assume that no one else can hear Willem as well.
Yeah, I'm not hearing as well. Maybe we should just keep doing demos because we can't. Oh, there he is.
Now I got you. You're back now, yeah. Yeah, it's another great area that we've really embraced. You know, when we think about AI, it brings a lot of advantages, but it's up to us as the creators to know that those diagnoses are fair across, you know, races, genders, lots of different things like that. And so what they use is toolkits that we've come out with, things like FairLearn and Interpret ML, which are directly integrated into Azure Machine Learning to evaluate the different models that they have and really see going to work in the different environments across different categories of users. And so, you know, this is something that, you know, not only do we make available to our customers, but we practice it ourselves as we go and develop all of our own models. We've put a series of development practices in place to really ensure that we feel confident that what we're developing is being done responsibly.
Yeah, personally, I'm a huge fan of the responsible AI, and it turns out that at Microsoft we have 6 very specific principles. So, for example, if you type in responsible AI, you Google with Bing responsible AI Microsoft, right? You will see like we have responsible AI principles that are super important. They're 6. They include fairness, reliability and safety, privacy and security, inclusiveness, transparency, and obviously accountability. And these are all super important. Just to add to what Eric is saying, we are super primed on doing this. These are our AI principles. Willem, can you talk to us now? Cool. So we're gonna take a 5-minute break, but thank you so much, Eric. You have been amazing. The demos were on point.
They were some of the best demos I think I've ever seen. Seth, as always, it's great to talk to you, and hey, great to talk again to the global AI community. It's while we had a couple of hiccups along the way, it's always a great community for me to engage with. So really excited to be here. Thanks again.
Awesome.